Blue chucks, blue strain, chunky watch, big chain. I don't fuck with snitches, I'm a real nigga. Most of my niggas locked cause they killed niggas.
Alright, what's up, y'all? And shout out to the Toronto Raptors for beating the Golden State Warriors for the NBA Finals, 114 to 110. That was a pretty good game. I watched it, but I wanted to get into this video that was on the Prophet of Thought series channel. They had a lot of people on there. They had RBR, they had BGS, they had the other brother who talks about the stocks and the money, and then they had the brother who's a former boxer. And I felt that the brother who was a former boxer, he made a lot of really interesting points. But I thought the high point of the whole debate was when he kind of went head up with BGS. And I feel that he exposed a lot of kinks in BGS's armor. And because BGS didn't have, his little crew there with him, he didn't have all his little sycophants and suck-ups in there with him to form a human barricade around him to protect him. BGS was kind of left out there. He had to fend for himself. And I don't think he really did that great of a job. I don't think he really did. I don't think he looks as good as he does when he's just surrounded by sycophants and people like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get right into it, and I'm gonna give my analysis. So let's go.
Okay, and that's really talk to me. Anybody can launch a YouTube channel or Facebook page and start a little thing. But the problem is you can't really do it exactly. Because so if you're saying something really way left and stupid, the community can come in and check you. So yes, they would be deceptive today, but I think we would be more united today. I don't think all those factions. I think even today we see a lot of these factions kind of coming closer together when we collide on YouTube as we start challenging each other's ideology or let's shout out to Simon and how they roll. You get corrected. So we have a peer review now in modern times that we didn't really have back in the days of Malcolm and Martin. That's all I got.
Okay, I'm going to go back to RBR, to my detriment, I'm sure. I know you've got something to say about this, so go ahead. No, the education is not detrimental, it's fundamental. All right, so here's what happens. In the South, these were not laws. They were law, but they weren't statutes. They weren't actual statutes. They were basically social norms. Blacks had to be separate.
Okay, I'm glad he said that, because when you talk about the Jim Crow codes and stuff in the South, they were originally called black codes. Okay, they were codes. They weren't necessarily statutes or anything like that. It basically was just a way of life that was set forth. That you got to separate both of these races and stuff. And I'm glad he said that. Okay, because people like BGS will never admit to that. He will just say that, well, these were the laws and this is how the law was, but these were codes that were simply implemented after the American Civil War in 1865 in the South, okay, to basically keep the status quo of white power in the South, pretty much. But I'm glad Real Brother was very astute to point that out. But let's continue.
From whites. That was Jim Crow. There was no statute. Your paper says differently. Yeah, they call them laws. They're laws. Okay. Remember, statute. Where's the statute? Code 6174 of the Penal Code. There's no statute. It just says blacks and whites have to be separate. Each state's going to have a different statute and different. No. See, that's the point I'm making. Prove that it's not. You haven't proved the point. You prove. RBR, I want you to put that link in the chat room so the folks can decide for themselves. I need permission to do that. Well, you write something in there and I'll rent you. Put something in there and I'll rent you. I'll rent you right now. I'm a real brother. You got to take it away. No, man, please. Put the damn thing in there. You know why the real brothers having a wrench? Write something in there, man. It's not your mind. You put something in there. Don't make me have to scroll all the way back up to find you. Now, there it is. All right. So, I know you guys want to win. The Cleveland Browns want to win. Detroit Lions. There's certain things you have to do to win. And lying, believe it or not, if I didn't like you, you would not be on the TBOG YouTube page. Trust me. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you didn't think you could beat me, I wouldn't be on the TBOG. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I call bullshit on that. Because anybody who knows me, know I have any and everybody on here. I mean, I don't discriminate when it comes to people on my channel. You know, that's not true. As you say, tell the truth. That ain't the truth. It's not. You're rich. So now go ahead, put that article, put that link in the chat so that people can go to it and check it out for themselves. Right. Look for the statute number. There's the link right there. Now, folks, y'all go ahead and check it out and see if Brother Harvey y'all tell the damn truth or not. That's right. You decide. You decide. Well, this is what I want to do. What I really want to ask, folks, is, would you rather things be, you know, all the bigotry and the prejudice aside, would you rather things be the way they are now, or the way they were 40 years ago? You know, aside from, you know, the bigotry and shit, you know, just the way of life. Yeah.
All right, now this is the part with that question that the Prophet of Thought gave out. I think BGS and then RBR is going to respond. But BGS is going to give the whole, you know, he's going to give the whole dialogue about how things are better now because his son can marry a white woman and still be playing semi-pro basketball and be a failed basketball player at 31 years old, 32 years old, begging daddy for money. But let's keep it going.
Things are better now. I can tell you as a kid, somebody that's 60 years old, they grew up in, when things were changing, things are a hell of a lot better now than they were when I was a kid. Is it because of, you know, the technology, the way things are? These times better? The attitudes have changed because of the attitudes have changed towards you. The policing, even though they're still bad, or not nearly as bad as they were then. The areas of town that you can frequent, your freedom of movement. Remember that movie about what's it called, Red Book? There were certain towns you could not stop in when you traveled.
Okay, yeah, his son's ability to go impregnate a white woman. Yeah, that's another thing that's good.
By car, okay? Green Book, stop in. It was a Green Book, yeah. Where you could not stop in. Literally, you could not stop in. Rest stops, you could not stop in. Certain towns, you couldn't park outside of it if you were sleepy in your car. A lot of this stuff doesn't exist.
See, more of the whole segregation, Jim Crow, you couldn't go over here, you couldn't go over there. You know what I mean? You couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. Let's continue.
Exist anymore. We take this stuff for granted. The fact that you look on YouTube where a black kid can challenge a white cop and win. Okay, that didn't exist when I was a kid. It didn't exist in my father's time. Where that white man said win. Okay, you can assert your rights. You had them, you know, on the books as far as the Constitution was concerned, but you couldn't assert them back then. You couldn't.
But what he's not saying is a lot of black people of his generation also would would willingly go along with what the white man said. Okay, he's not. You know, that's what he's not saying here. But I digress. Let's continue.
The racism gets you get a job, you get a union job. You know, because even Obsidian talks about his father. When his father was in the union, he was a union construction worker, right? And the racism went on in Philadelphia. Now, George Macon talks about that when his father was in Philadelphia, and the racism went on there. Okay, so George Macon, he grew up, and he said it's a hell of a lot better now than when his father was a kid, was a young man. So I don't think most young folks who traded would go back to that. I certainly wouldn't. But my mother's 80 years old. I can tell you that when she was in Louisiana, in northern Louisiana, sharecropping with those crackers, that she would tell you that there's a world different between where she grew up in than the world is now. It's not just technology. Can you give us some? The man. Can I give you an example? I'll give you an example. I'll give you a worse stuff. Okay. I think overall it's better, but Dr. King said because we got real segregation. Now black people don't want to have businesses, hotels. Are there some areas where it's worse because of integration?
Now, see, RBR was very astute with that. Now, the other brother's going to come in, the brother who's a former boxer, he's going to come in and he's going to take it even further. Okay? But what's going to happen, what you're going to see happen is both RBR and the other brother, they're going to put points out there that BGS isn't really going to be able to counter. You know, he's not. Now, the last brother on the panel, he's just going to be silent through this whole last hour of the debate. Okay? But let's continue.
Basically, it's worse. But the way I see this is worse because of integration, that you're going to start losing your cultural identity. And that's going to happen with admixture and integration. That is something that you probably will have to give up. That happened to the Native American. So what we would like is to keep our cultural identity and get the same benefits out of this.
Okay. That's not true. The Native Americans did not give up their culture and identity. Native Americans got their own sovereign land. They govern themselves. They police themselves. Okay? And they are in control. They have sovereignty and they're in control of their own situation. So I don't know where he would get that from, because it's not historically accurate. But like I said, BGS has a narrative that he's put out there. So damn history, it's about his narrative, his specific narrative, that he wants to put out there. Let's continue.
Okay, but the thing is, that's not the deal that was cut. Okay, so assimilation.
I ask you a question. I've been asking this question for 5 years.
Go ahead.
Did black people really change, or did white people change? And that goes back to yes. And see, that's the thing about it. It ain't if it's better now than it was 40 years.
Okay, now Jay Speed, listen to what Jay Speed is saying. Okay, because he's really gonna knock it out of the park when it comes to BGS, and BGS ain't really gonna be able to answer to really what the brother was actually asking him. But let's continue.
Years ago, because without what happened 40 years ago, it couldn't be what it is today.
Mm-hmm.
So either place you switch, you're gonna be in the same game, even though it's different, but it's the same game because you can't have the day unless the Malcolm X, the SNCC, the Martin Luther King, all the other movements who keep pushing. I mean, it's just like baking a cake. You know, you said there are some people, you know, when I was small, and you understand, my father was born in 1909, and my grandmother was born in the 1800s, and my father was a sharecropper, and my grandmother was a sharecropper. So
what did your father say? Is he still alive?
No, he passed, made his transition in 1996.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say this is,
So what did he say about now the time he was living in the 90s compared to when he was a kid or a young man? What did he say?
believe it or not, as much as I talk, my father didn't talk at all.
Okay.
Not at all. He was more of an instructional father. He would teach you how to cut the grass, how to grow food, stuff like that, but very little words. Only direction, only solutions. And that's the way he spoke to me. But it's like this, like now, it's like when you really look at things now, and you ask yourself, is a horse better in the wild as it is that somebody would take a stallion or something and bred that horse to do races? Are you saying the horses who race has a better life than the horses that was in the wild or is in his own nature? We don't have to use the word now. And what I'm saying is, one of the brothers said something very important, and then you start to lose your identity.
Okay, now that's a very pertinent question. Okay, very insightful, brother here. And see, BGS isn't really going to have a response to this, but let's continue.
What could be a greater loss than you lose who you are? Suppose there was a lion who just decided to go to the circus and then just act like a pussycat for the rest of his life. And just because he fed, he don't have to hunt anymore and all that other kind of stuff. You should really sit down there and put that lion under a microscope and say, look, he has a better life. So you're saying that you captivated from a people and you become more like them, then your life is better. Where you almost you just gave up and saying it's better to join than it is to fight them. So we lost. And so what are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? What do you want? It's like you need to fight. Okay.
You see that? You see how BGS is responding? What are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? What do you want? How could you not want a white woman like my son has? What are you fighting for? What are you fighting? You see what I'm saying? This is how this nigga act. This is this nigga's mindset. What are you fighting for? You know what I mean? This guy has no clue of, owning the black situation at all. He's constantly trying to divorce himself from the black situation. What are you fighting for? We need to assimilate. Okay, but he has no basis or groundwork for it. He has no documentation to back it up. His whole definition of assimilation is having light-skinned biracial babies, like what his son has. But let's continue.
Well, you asked me a question, let me answer. Go ahead. Okay. All my life I fought for the no self. I went to Africa 3 times, and I was adopted by a village in Ghana. And one of my dreams that I told my mother and my father that I would go back to the umbilical cord and grace the ground and find myself. I ain't going to find my people, because once I find myself, my people will be included in my DNA. And so they gave me my name. I came back, and I turned my name legally, the name that I was adopted. I wanted my spirituality back because all my life I was a Christian, sinning through a tunnel vision of white Christianity, and I know it didn't fit me. So I wanted my spirituality. One of the things I had to research on my own and go into a more of a holistic way approach to life, understanding the nature and universe. I got that back. The only thing I don't have back, and I'm gonna get that, is my connection to the land again. And 2020, that is my plan. And so you ask me what I'm fighting for. I can't fight for anyone until I fight for myself, because my whole journey it's all on you. You're the architect in the general of your happiness or your madness. And you have to decide what strategy you want to take to get what you want. So I'm glad you asked me what I want. That's why I laid it on the table.
And basically, civil rights, this transition gave you that. Because you didn't have it back then. My mother didn't have it. My father didn't have it. My grandmother didn't have it. Okay, you had severe limitations of what you could do and what you could be.
Right. I just took it to another level. See, each generation will make something to it.
Okay, see, now, in the 70s, we had black astronauts. Okay, in the 50s, we had a black Supreme Court judge. Okay, before that, we had all types of black industrialists and inventors and stuff. And that kind of thing. But he's saying that, well, there was only certain things that you could be. There's only certain things you could be. You couldn't get, So unless you could go work for white people in a white corporation, you couldn't be nothing. That's BGS Ibmore's old whole argument. You know, his old ass civil rights generation ass argument. Let's continue. I digress.
Different level. So is it better now or was it better then? That's the question.
I know, and I try to answer that question as honestly and truthfully as I can. Is
Well, you didn't answer it though.
just I did answer. You just didn't like my answer. My answer.
Is it better now?
My answer was.
But maybe did I misunderstand the answer to the question?
I answered that question.
Okay, is it, no. Give me the first. Give me the answer. Then give me the explanation. Is it better now? Or is it better now? Or was it better then?
Neither. Neither.
It's either or question. There's no.
I understand, but everything in the universe
It has to
is
be.
not white.
Well, not black and white. That's the question. I agree with it. Yes, it's both, and it's only both because you can choose.
Please don't
No, I don't get it. Maybe the black guy don't get it because I don't get it. No, what I'm saying. All right, Jada don't want me to agree with him.
I'm just kidding, RB. Come on.
Why is it both? I don't understand. Here's the thing. When you don't have a choice, when you have to marry somebody black, when you have to live in a black neighborhood, when you have to go to a black school, when you have to have a black business, you marry somebody black, you go to a black school, you have a black business. But when you have a choice, then you can marry Kim Kardashian and you can go to a Trump University and you can join the Ku Klux Klan. Is that really best for someone black? They have a choice. They can marry somebody black, they can marry Taylor Rowland, or they can marry Roseanne Barr. Giving these idiots a choice without education, without civilization, without morality, it's not good. It's not good. How come they're uneducated? They're uncivilized. They're white. So let me ask you a question. So 60 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, under Jim Crow, were we educated? Not to the extent that we should have been. We were vulnerable. See, here's the thing. So how was it the same? We're uneducated without choice, and now we're educated. Now we're very educated, I would think, because we know more. We should know more, and we have choice. We exercise choice. You have to exercise the right and freedom. That's why it wasn't better. That's why it wasn't better. No.
I can tell you why it's the same for me, because I am the one who led into this. So it's the same to me as if I'm living in something, regardless of me having a reflection of the future or the past, I'm involved in it. I'm living it. And what I'm saying is, whatever solution we came up with, whatever problem we came, that's the environment that we are living in at that time. They always try to do this with sport figures. They always try to say, sport figures today are better than sport figures yesterday. He's better than Muhammad Ali. He's better than Kareem. He's better than... You can't do that because you are in... Okay, you can do it. You can do anything you want to. You can make a kid. But what I'm just saying is, when you want an absolute, you got to deal with the time that you are in. And I'm telling you, there's a lot...
Hey, now this brother's make a really good point now. When you talk about, you know, the past, you have to deal with the time that you're in or the time that you're talking about. Okay? And BGS doesn't do that. He just says that, you know, it's better today because of X, Y, and Z. Okay? But he's not taking into account time and the relativity and that whole type of thing. I digress. Let's continue.
Other things that I like a lot better 40 years ago. People was more kind. Listen to this. People was more kind to each other. People had more human reaction with each other. You got a bunch of people walking around now, and the only thing they do is look at their cellular phone. They go out to eat, and they sit down at the table, 5 or 6 of them, and they all sitting down on the cellular phone, texting each other, telling each other what kind of food they want to eat. The person right there in front of them. So when you start talking about what's better and what's worse, you have to look at the whole picture. Once a man loses himself and not know of himself, he's already defeated.
So I'll give you because I'm asking.
He's absolutely right, and BGS has been defeated for a long time. But I digress. Let's continue.
Okay, I can tell you, especially for basketball, because we talk about basketball, right? Okay. And boxing. Okay.
And by the way, BGS, yeah, he played basketball, but he sucked at basketball, and so does his son, which is why his son is 32 years old and playing semi-pro ball, and ain't no pro teams even thinking about looking at his ass. But I digress. Let's continue.
Basically, because of the and you're boxing, right? You're boxing, right?
I started boxing when I was 12 years old. I was only 1980 national boxing team.
So what kind of nutrition, training methods, and all other kind of stuff that has revolutionized boxing compared to when you actually box?
Well, you might think of that, but if you really look at it, wait a minute. You have one boxer right now who has not been, and he used the old method. That's Mayweather. He used the science of boxing. All these other guys, they go in the gym trying to lift weights and stuff. That's the things we were taught not to do because it tightens up yourself. But all these new boxers that you see now, most of them go in the ring and just swing wild. They don't have no science. But when you have a person like Mayweather who understands the science of boxing, that's like the science of chess don't change with thousands of years. It might change with a computer, but it do not change with thousands of years of strategy, understanding every move on the board. So you cannot go back and compare what's today and what was yesterday. I'm telling you, with me, it's both the same.
No, it's not the same because now the computer can actually show you your punch. You can show you they can do punch stats. You can, instead of looking at grainy film, you can instantly pull up whatever opponent, compare hundreds of different opponents, learn from all those opponents.
But you can't react by looking at something. That's like reading a book.
You just said, okay, JJ, when you box, was it better when you watched film of the boxer or not?
Yes, but it was better when I seen the boxer.
Was it better when you could slow that person down, slow his hand speed down, see exactly what his foot placement was, how he do a punch, the angle and everything? Huh?
When you no, I'm telling you, this is what I'm telling you about the science. I don't know about the science of basketball. I just started playing basketball probably about 10 years ago. But I do know the science of boxing. What I'm telling you, once you understand the science of boxing, it's just like tic-tac-toe. You only have 9 moves. And all the 9 moves that once you perfect them, no one can ever beat you and take that control. They're going to tie with you, but they can't beat you. So I didn't have to look at a person and slow him down. My science was so fast, my technique was so fast. You might see it as being fast, but me, it seems like it was slow motion when I watch a fight. So what I'm trying to tell you is, when you're in something and you know every degree of it, it don't make a difference if you go to the future or back from the future. If that's the farthest that can go, you can't add nothing else onto it. Look at the box today. Look at the box today and look at the conditions of the boxes back then. Now you got all that science. They got the rubber thing going around their body. They're running across the field. They're jumping off carts. They're jumping up and they're using a lot of weights. They're going there looking like, man, they look like weightlifters. But look at their techniques and look at everything else. They don't hit no strong. They don't hit no harder. Because you can go on YouTube right now and find punch speed and they compare it with however they do it. They don't hit no harder. Their chins are no good today. And so what I'm trying to say is, there's a lot of things from yesterday is just as good as today. But when you in something, at the time you in it, that's all you know. That's all you know. You can tell me, well, if you didn't know about the past and I put you in the past, you would just deal with what you would be dealing with. You wouldn't know anything about the future or the past.
Wait. If you put me in the past, then
if I put you in the past right now, and I took all your memories from the future, where you had to just start off just like a baby, if I put you in 1950, you had no memory or nothing else.
Well, then I wouldn't take advantage of all the modern advances that we have now, could I?
I understand, but you would know about them. So what I'm saying is,
the thing is, you would deal with your time, but that doesn't. Right. The science of boxing, the science of basketball, the science of sports hasn't improved. It has. I'm telling you, if the basketball science would have brought better basketball players or football players, it would make all these rules today to make this game more softball. Think about it. When football first started off, guys were wearing leather caps. Yeah,
they weren't wearing helmets.
And they only weighed 170 pounds.
Yeah, because they were playing against white boys. But when the black boys started playing,
they still weighing 170 pounds.
They hit like they were weighing 100.
No, they don't. Back then, okay, your average lineman, your average offensive defensive lineman only weighed 205 pounds, 200 average, right? They weigh 300 now, and they're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster.
This is what it is.
You understand? Hold on, Jay. Okay, can I start?
Yes, sir.
Can I start? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
No disrespect. Go ahead.
Thank you.
My apology.
Now, at the time, you can go back and look at it. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the average lineman weighed 220 pounds, right? Okay, the average lineman now weighs 340 pounds, and they run faster because they time them. So they're faster, they're stronger, and they're bigger. Okay, you know how we talk. Let me finish. Okay, they have instant technique, they have instant film techniques. In other words, back then you have to process the film, bring it back and show them what they did 3 days later. When somebody's making a mistake on the sidelines of practice, you can instantly take it, bring them on the sideline. This is what you're doing, and correct it right then. Instead of taking them 10 weeks to correct the mistake, correct the mistake right then and there. Okay. In other words, the techniques, the science of sports and memory and learning how to do stuff and techniques that you didn't have 40, 50 years ago, you have now. If you brought a player, from in football from 50 years ago, brought him up to now, he gets slaughtered. He couldn't play. Okay. Same thing with basketball, he couldn't play.
Okay, so would you say that back in the day when you're talking about right now, because this really gels into the mental part of where we at in our state now, would you say back in the days in the 70s, there were many NFL players who played offense and defense? Players you talking about stronger and faster, they play sometimes for 1 play or 2 plays, and their ass is on the bench. So let me ask you a question, just to show you what I'm talking about. Can you name me, without looking at your cellular phone, can you give me 10 different telephone numbers?
Can I give you 10 different telephone numbers?
Yes, sir.
No.
Why not?
Because I don't have to use it.
Why not? But you're telling me a man made something to substitute what your brain used to do automatic, but you think you built it.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If with the gadget that you have now, okay, with the gadget you have now, you could look up 300-400 different phone numbers. Could you do that back in the day? Right?
No, I couldn't. But with the people I did know, the 20 or 30 people I did know, they weren't no damn internet friends or somebody who just might like my content or whatever. They were people I personally know.
That's the question I asked you.
But okay, I answered that question at the beginning, and then I gave you my explanation. I said no, but you limited yourself to certain things too. Technology, like look at obesity in this country today. The average person don't even walk to the store; it'd be right down the corner. They jump right in their car and go to the store. But look at this country. What are you losing with all that technology? So you can call it better in one instant, but you have to look at the whole picture.
When I look at the whole picture, is it better? The average person reason they're obese because there's more food, right? 50 years ago, you had people that were surviving on less than 1,500 calories a day.
I understand, but they would eat. It's not about the food.
In other words, the lifespans were shorter because they were eating less food. The average lifespan.
All right, now, the life's it's not exactly the case. Lifespans were shorter back then because life was harsher back then. You know, there was more manual labor. There's more chances for men to get injured and stuff working and that whole type of thing. Okay. But also, a lot of people don't take into account people back then. They smoked a lot more cigarettes. Okay, there's a lot of things that they did. You know, back-breaking work that can cause you to cause your body to wear down earlier in life. And that whole type of thing, but he's not. BGS isn't talking about that. But I digress. Let's continue.
And was 40 years, okay? About 40, 50 years old. That's how they made
it.
Huh?
When?
Why do you think the Social Security system, when they built it in the 30s, right, was actually predicated only 5% of the population, less than 5% of the population actually survived to the age of 60 years old, 62. Why do you think that was? Why do you think that's blown up now?
Can I take? What can I? You want me to say? Yeah. Because when I got my first, I paid into the Social Security, I was 55 years old. I do understand that, but I had my father died more closer to 100 than to the 40 you talking about. My great aunt died more closer to the 100 and the number you talking about, and she kept the same diet all the time. But what I'm trying to tell you is, you don't have exercise in school no more. You're not made to do gym in school anymore. People don't get enough exercise. They don't drink water. So you gonna tell me, yes, people are living longer, but they're living more of a synthetic life. They're so high, so messed up, so drunk, so obesity, so many diseases. They're not really living. They're walking around like zombies.
So what killed people back then? What do you think?
Well, it was a different thing. They
got you. There was less healthy food, less healthy water. Okay, basically the water and the food is basically sanitized now. Basically,
Yeah, but from what I know, back then, a lot of our people cooked more their own food. They didn't have all this fast food and stuff. So, the parents and stuff cooked the food. And the kids ate, most of it was home cooked food. So how could they have less healthy food back then? We have less healthy food now. Not back then. And back then, a lot of black folks would go out to the fields and stuff and pick their corn or pick their vegetables and that kind of stuff and bring them back home. Ashley W. talked about that on her channel. Okay. But I digress. But BGS is just making stuff up off the top of his head at this point.
you're fortunate if you do that from the people. Why do you think back in the day the black people actually cooked the stuff to the point where it was damn near burnt? Because they knew what was in it.
Okay, who? That must have been some shit your family did, BGS, because my mama don't do that, and my mama never told me that my grandmother on her side did that. About cooking food till it's fucking burnt. Nigga, what the fuck? That's some shit your family and shit probably did, BGS. And that's some fucked up shit to even say. Well, black people cook food till it was burnt. Nigga, what the fuck? You see how fucked up of a mindset this nigga have? Let's continue.
You know what was in it. You had to cook it that way. You had to boil it. You had to make sure that all the stuff that was in it was out. Okay, that doesn't exist anymore. All that stuff is washed. It's far more sanitized, far more clean.
You eat paper. You eating food that don't even have nutrition in it.
Double, but the average lifespan is double.
It's not. Your study is wrong.
Prove me wrong.
Okay, how do you have it? You have right.
I have. I just gave
you haven't. Give me the receipt. Give me the receipt.
I gave you the receipt.
No, not your mouth, please. Give me the receipt.
Basically, I can look up the demographic table of the United States.
Look. Are you the most person on this earth was Dick Gregory, and his numbers were way closer than what I believe.
Go talk. Okay. Go talk. It's okay. I'm basically. I was having a conversation. I have a video. But I promised myself, a couple of weeks ago, I'm not going to shout over people to prove myself. If you don't like my information, if you don't believe me, you have to have nothing to refute it. But you don't. Then I do. And you don't. Show it to me.
Show it. I do have something to refute, but I'm just saying that first you have to present your evidence. Just because you say something.
I get you. I present evidence.
Here's some evidence. It's commonly known. Everybody agrees that the life expectancy increases because Social Security goes up and not down. Right? And what else would explain it other than the fact that people are living longer?
I tell you what could explain that. It's all about the money, brother. It has nothing to do with age. It's all about the money. It's all about the money.
It has nothing to do with actual the life insurance.
Look, they don't have to look. Really, it make no difference. You know, when your statistics, as far as when it comes to Social Security, it's not even based on black people. It's based on white people.
I was just talking about the life expectancy.
I understand what you're talking about. We got more diseases. It used to be a time in our community we didn't even have cancer as far as the normal rate. Every disease on this woman. This is what they're saying.
No, that's right. For a long time, black folks wasn't even getting cancer like that. And for a long time, black women weren't really getting breast cancer like that. Until just very recently. Okay. But you got these niggas out here saying that things are better now for black folks than in the past. But let's continue.
This is what I'm saying now. All right? So this can be proved. Anybody can Google this. As far as all the diseases right here in the United States right here, we're on the top of the list of all of them. So food you talking about, that food you talking about.
And he's right about that. He's absolutely right about that. You're on the top list of all these damn diseases because of all this fastest food that we eating today. BGS said that the food was unhealthier in the past, but we didn't have all this cancer and all these diseases in the past.
They're supposed to be so good, supposed to be this and supposed to be that, and the water's so sanitized, when you're drinking it out of a plastic bottle, you don't know you're getting female hormone. So you're talking about chlorine in water. That's all it is, bleach.
He absolutely right on that. And you see, he's systematically destroying all the bullshit that BGS just said. All the bullshit that BGS throw out there, he's systematically destroying this shit.
You're talking about bleaching water. What do you take the teeth from your mouth?
Why they put chlorine in the water?
Listen, what I'm saying is,
why they put chlorine in the water?
not for digestion. It don't supposed to be digested.
Why they put chlorine in the water?
Because it got 7.5 over, so you can't have the disease.
No.
The line kills what?
Kill the bacteria and the pathogens that are in the water.
Thank you. But that's not consumed. That's just for the outside, just like you put that stuff on your skin when you want to get the, you know, all right,
whether you're right, okay?
no, it's not about me being right. It's about it's about putting the information out there and then people do. You're right. You already believe
Okay, see, now BGS is conceding defeat. He said, okay, brother, you're right. He does that when he knows niggas got his ass in the corner. Okay? So shout out to the brother for doing that.
anything I think. Just put the information out there.
I've been in contact with for 35 years, but most of my partners are vegans, right? A lot of them actually run health things. I know Dr. Goff, I know Dr. Sapie, I know all this stuff. I know all these people, right? So
But I live it. You know the brother said, I live it, brother. I sell these things. You want to sell? I don't sell them at the price. I sell these things to people brain to make them understand.
Let me ask you a question. You went to Ghana, right? You went to Ghana. Did you? No, hold on a second. Because now I'm pissed. Did you go to Ghana?
Wait.
No. You can't have a conversation with me. I'm asking you a question.
No. You can't ask me a question. I'm asking you a respectful question. A grown man don't tell another grown man you pissed. That's some 80, 90 stuff. I don't deal with that kind of stuff, all right? We gonna talk like a man, let's talk like a man. Don't tell me you pissed about something. Conversation. We can agree or we can disagree. But you don't have to be pissed with a conversation, my brother. We all here to learn. I'm just a baby in this. I'm just a baby.
All right. We're gonna swing back around to Dollar Whale for a little bit of calmness while the OG. He's kind of settling. We're gonna swing back to Dollar Whale for a moment. Dollar Whale, if you want to chime in on this.
I just want to kind of pick up what your question is.
Yeah, because what I had asked, do you think it's better, coming from your background and what you know about, today and what you know about your past, do you think it's better now than it was then? It's time from the bigotry and the prejudice and all that kind of stuff. Do you think now is better, or was it better back in the day?
Can I dodge the question this way? I'm going to dodge it this way.
Dodge.
I'm going to say if I say yesterday, all I'm doing is moving time back, but the path that I would travel would be the same road that we're on right now. There's nothing different about the travel. All we're doing is changing the calendar. If I say yesterday was better, because once we brought in, basically freedom or equality in America is not free. The price of equality is assimilation, and we got to deal with that. I don't want to assimilate. I don't want to lose my black consciousness, or let me say it another way.
Now, this brother, he's talking a lot of good sense, though. But see, he's talking about, the price of freedom is assimilation. I don't want to assimilate as a black man. I want to hold on to my culture. And that's a very good thing. But see, niggas in BGS's generation, they don't understand that concept. They thought it was their time to go join with white folks in white society. And then when the white folks slapped them upside the face, okay. But, they didn't have nothing to say. But they still pushing, BGS's generation still pushing that same integration narrative. But that's just that just shows you the big difference between the older generation and and the newer. Because this brother, he is younger, but it shows you the difference in the mindset between the older generation and the younger generation. I digress. Let's continue.
I consider myself a dispersed African. Okay, that's what we are. All right, we here in America, we've been kidnapped, but we don't want to go back home. Okay, because we got Stockholm syndrome, and we got to deal with that. Like, what are realistic expectations for us if we choose to stay in a place where we're not wanted here in America? So we got to divide our psyche, our consciousness. We got to deal. We're one part dispersed African who denied about that, and we call ourselves black. We're another part American, and we can't. So we can't really be fully American because in the eyes of the tribe, the conqueror, the American is a white person. The world sees American as a white person. And we're the conqueror of that. So if we want to continue down that path, that's kind of limited. Or are we going to try to get with some Pan-Africanism? No matter what way we go, we still going to have this question that we're going to have to deal with. Are we willing to fully assimilate and become American and become white people in blackface? Or are we going to try to make this Pan-African thing work, which is going to stress relations with whites even more in America? So we're going to have this struggle, no matter if we go back to the past and walk this road again, or whether we just man and woman up and walk forward from here. We still got to answer that question. What do we want?
Okay, well, we're about to wrap up in about another 20 minutes. I just want to do some station identification, let everybody know that you're listening to. Right here on the GBOT YouTube page, we got the OG panel up here tonight, Dollar Will, the master teacher, JC, and RBR here, goddammit. Got me losing my damn mind. But he's up again, he's actually making some good points. Y'all. My final question tonight for y'all would be, that's the other question. What was it better you did it? Was it better did it? To finish off what I was saying about the point that BGS was making. Yes, we talk about the good, and then we have to also talk about the bad, so we understand it. The difference between forced segregation and voluntary segregation is forced segregation is forced by law, even if it's not really a law on the books. It's a law that says blacks and whites have to be separate. So yes, not being forced to be into a Jim Crow situation, it's better. But when you give people the choice to go off that cliff, some black people go off that cliff. And so that's what I wanted to make clear. It's forced segregation versus voluntary segregation. Forced segregation is bad. Voluntary segregation isn't. Okay. Well, this is what I want to ask the final question for tonight before I let everybody go. You often hear us talk about solutions. You know, I even saw some people in the chat. I think when we talk about solutions to problems, those solutions are only as good as the people who are going to apply them. So when we talk about solutions, I'm not that keen on, you know, collective solutions, but solutions are going to start individual, you know, person by person by person. So let me ask all of you, what do you think the solutions are? What's the solution to financial? What's the solution to the financial crisis that many black people find themselves in? What's the solution to the familial social?
I hope you had a better day than yesterday.
Social. Don't forget. If somebody need you, JCB, OG JCB. Somebody need you. Financially, as far as our family goes, or all those things in one. Is there a solution to black folks' condition? Because I know back then, because I watched the old tapes and I watched the Malcolm X's and Stokely Carmichael's talk about what black people need to do. What is those things that black people need to do now in 2019? Okay, I can go first. I really do believe that what we have to do as black people is we have to, one, govern. We can't let people who hate us because we're black govern us. How come? They'll poison our water. They'll go to that South Carolina church and they'll shoot up black people. They'll kill us. Why? Because they hate us. Okay, so we can't let white people be in charge of our government. All right? Now, as far as the 94.3% of black families who control 94.3% of our wealth, the money that we spend, the $1.3 trillion, that's good. The fact that it don't go to black people, that's bad. So we have to find a way. I'm talking to Cocaine Kales in the chat room. There are 37 million black people that have YouTube accounts. We got 113 people watch this one. We have got to get those 37 million black people to come to black YouTube. Now I've heard, well, they don't want to be black. Well, they just want to be entertained. Well, see, they don't care about black issues. God damn it, if you black, you care about black issues. And you don't want to just be entertained. You want to get paid. Now, if we could turn this platform into a $74 billion entity, which is how much money the black people who don't come to black YouTube get. Why? Because they charge $2,000 for each million views. So if you want your commercial to appear before a million people on YouTube, you have to pay $2,000 times 37 million. That's a lot of money. That's $74 billion. So if we can get that $74 billion over to black YouTube, when they come, people don't realize this, but when they come over here to see the Beyonce concert, they're going to see TPOT. They're going to see J Speed. They're going to see the Real Brother Radio Network. They're going to see us. And when they see us, hey, they might like us. Hey, they might like you. Hey, they might give you $5. So 37 million people over here, 93.4% of black families control that money. That's how we solve our financial problem. Now, the question that's going to make everybody mad is how come these 37 million black people don't come here? And the answer is because of what happens to people like me who come here. We get attacked. We get cooked. You're crazy. Something's wrong with you. You don't know what you're talking about. You get banned. You get kicked out the panel. Okay. Other stupid stuff. Cussed out, threatened, bullied. And people that are about their money don't like that. So if you want to talk about new industry and new media and taking advantage of it, that's the answer. We can do it, but we got to do it. Well, just for the record, and I'm just speaking, my own individual self, I don't kick you off the panel, and I don't try to shut you up. I have to let you talk. I never kick you off. I kick you off. You've been kicked off. And how crazy is I thought you were talking? I've never kicked you off. Go ahead, Master Teacher.
I'll end with this. Basically, there's a new world coming. It's coming faster and faster. And there's so many different opportunities that back when I was a kid couldn't even dream of. And you have the wealth of the world. It's literally in your hands. Now you have the will and the fortitude to actually take advantage of it. A lot of people don't because they use it as a crutch rather than as a tool.
Okay, so I often wonder, BGS talks that big talk, but why isn't he doing anything innovative? He still has a job at 60 years old. He has to go work for white people. But he's out here telling other black people, well, this is a new world and the new technology, blah, blah, blah. Well, how come you're not trailblazing in that, but you sit around and you talk about this stuff, but you still choose to go to work for white people every day? You know what I mean? Let's continue.
Not just the tech, but also using the tech to do old things like growing food. Okay, growing food in the desert, bringing in water, making water where there wasn't new materials where they didn't exist years ago. A different way to build houses, different way to do. You have like when I was a kid, it took 5 years to dig us up.
Okay, irrigation technology has been around for thousands of years. Okay, it's just today they're making more advanced forms of it. Okay, but it's been around for a long time.
Wait, right? Chinese have a machine that digs it within a year. So basically, yes.
Okay, but the Chinese also got cities over there sitting empty that nobody is in. Okay, But I digress. Let's
These tools
continue.
are getting better and better and better. Are there challenges? Yes, because every time you go through a new paradigm, you're going to have different challenges. But the opportunities for black people, all people, especially black people in America, they're endless. The things we don't see. You can get it tomorrow. If every black kid, every black person can see their opportunity to take advantage of them, you can get it tomorrow. But will they? That's all I got.
Yeah,
You want to go down a little bit? Go ahead.
yeah, I think we from one, just to borrow one of BGS points, he's right. We got to wrestle our young minds from the school system of the conqueror. That's the first thing. Nothing is more important than that. Then we're going to have to build a culture and unite culture with commerce. Okay, so we can't. It doesn't do the culture or the tribe any good if we're making money, but we don't see ourselves as part of a larger collective. A food means money in our part, so it doesn't. We got to get the culture. So that when we get the money, we'll do the right thing. We'll know how to build from that. So I'll just put it right there. Oh, and let me say this, of course, the money part, on Dollar Will, I teach, stock trading for concepts on my channel because I believe that the most powerful thing we can learn in this country, or that I've learned in my life, is how to trade the markets because the markets don't care whether you have a college degree or not, whether you're black or white, man or woman. They don't ask you to check the race box when you go to make a trade. The most revolutionary thing you can do in this world is learn how to conquer or get your fair slice in the financial market. I'm talking stocks, forex, and futures. That's where the revolution has to be. That's a quiet revolution. No bullets, no Molotov cocktails, no pickets, just a quiet trade. Move their money from their account to your account. That's the revolution.
OG. You know it, OG.
Like the first thing I would just say to the panel, thank you for, and the host, thank you for having me on the panel tonight. Does any of the panel feel like I was trying to talk over them or talk through them? I'm just a brother from 18 siblings, and that's just the way we did it. It has nothing to do with me if you took it in the wrong way or disrespect or been trying to do some kind of superior. No, that's just not me. I listen as I talk too. So I would just like to say to your question, my brother, let me say, what's the solution? Because that's what I left off with the last time I was here. My solution is, if we don't tie our biblical cord back to our land mass, we're going to be in trouble. You know why we're going to be in trouble? We're going to be saying the same thing we said 100 years, and what we're saying now, we're lost out. It's good. These new currencies, the stock market, and all that, we got to understand. We live in a time in this country that we are 24th in education. And something.
He's absolutely right about that. What he's saying is very crucial. But like the thing is, you're not going to hear BGS's generation talk. They don't talk about Pan-Africanism. The most they talk about Pan-Africanism is Marcus Garvey, which is some outdated shit. That they don't talk. They think that their future is having light-skinned biracial babies with good hair. That's what BGS is pushing. Okay? But this brother, Jay Speed, he's pushing some very methodical stuff that black folks need to hear. And I just wanted to highlight that.
We're way up 48. And so we are in a house that's burning. And for some reason or another, we don't believe we have the, as Mr. Farrakhan said, the fortitude to make another reconnection back to the motherland, which I am leaving in 2010.
Yeah, and niggas like BGS think that the solution to being in a house that's burning is to go have some biracial babies with a white woman with good hair and hope that they assimilate better into the American culture. But let's continue. I digress.
2020. I've already got my containers and stuff. And so I'm saying, I know all of us not going to go back. And that's cool and that's fine. But if some of our great minds go back and interchange ideas, think tanks, to our place, we won't lose out. I mean, China, everybody, it's a whole new colonization going on in Africa now. They don't have kept us away from it so long that we don't feel like we want it over there. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm making connection, just like my brother did, who took all that electricity over there, who was the singer. He took his money and invested in what he thought was the right plan in his journey. My journey is to take my money, my thoughts, and make a reconnection with the motherland and have a connection over here too, so we all both can communicate with each other and we can move forward. Because if it ain't working out for us, I tell everybody, if you're black and you're in this country, you ain't got a passport, you're going to be sitting failure. In peace, love, and always strive to find the truth. JSPO's G60.
Right. I want to thank everybody, man, for coming out tonight, man. A lot of wisdom going on.
All right, now that was pretty much it. It was a good debate. A lot of good dialogue, but I think there was a lot of exposing in this debate of old ideologies and old mindsets that just don't really work anymore. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and shut it out right now. Y'all have my commentary. Let me know what y'all think. Get the likes up. Peace.